Hello everybody and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac and we are back playing some FTB Infinity for episode 7. Now, last episode we kind of dipped our toes a little bit into the world of Thaumcraft. We got ourselves this research table, a crucible, and we discovered Nitor. But for today, we're going to take a little bit of a step back away from Thaumcraft. Don't worry, we will continue on with this very soon. I do want to get some pretty cool wand and wand foci, but for today, what I want to focus on is I want to get started with some applied Energistics. So, for those who don't know, applied Energistics is a pretty nifty little mod. It helps if you can spell it. Applied, yeah. There we go. Applied Energistics 2, actually, this is the second version of Applied Energistics, is a pretty nifty mod that allows you to store all of your items on disks and access them from panels where you can basically access all of your stuff and just type in what you want and pull it out and then craft with it, and it's really awesome. And if you haven't played with it before, I definitely recommend you give it a try, and today we're going to show you how to get started with that. So, the first thing that's kind of the core of any Applied Energistics system is the controller. This thing over here, the ME controller, requires 4 skystone blocks, 4 pure fluix crystals, and an engineering processor, none of which we have. So, to get started, what we're going to do is we're going to work on the pure fluix crystals. These are made by dropping a fluix seed made from fluix dust and sand into a puddle of water to make the process faster, add crystal growth accelerators. So, we need to drop fluix seed made from fluix dust and sand. So let's have a look. Fluix dust is over here somewhere. It's this stuff here. And you can make it by grinding up fluix crystals in the grindstone. Fluix crystals are made by dropping 1 charged Certus quartz, 1 nether quartz, and 1 redstone into a puddle next to one another and waiting a few seconds, and then you should get 2 fluix crystals. So, what I've done between episodes is I went ahead and did another quick nether run, got myself 31 more nether quartz, and so, if we were to grab ourselves, say, some redstone, some charged Certus quartz, which just drops randomly, by the way, every time you break the Certus quartz ore, and we were to drop that into a puddle, and by a puddle, it means just like a little puddle of water somewhere on the floor like this. So if we were to say drop you, and you all in there, ta-da, look at that. Boom. We get ourselves an achievement, Unnatura, I guess, which gets us 4 fluix crystals. Nice. And then if we were to go ahead and run over to the grindstone, where I've also ground up some normal Certus quartz crystals into Certus quartz dust, and you'll see why I've done that in just a second. Let's go ahead and take you out and grind up for now. Let's see. How many, I think, by... Let's have a look. In order to make these pure fluix crystals, we need seeds, and I think every 1 fluix dust makes 2 seeds. So I'm going to go ahead and make 2 of those so we can get 4 seeds, and therefore 4 pure crystals, which should be enough to get us the ME controller. And then after we've got that, we can start working on the all of the engineering processes and stuff like that. So, let's go ahead and have a look. I think we have a little bit of sand in here. Yeah, I went ahead and I smelled up a bunch of glass. Thankfully, I didn't put enough coal in there for it to actually finish. So, we should be able to go ahead and do something like this and this, and get ourselves 4 fluix seeds, which if we were to then drop in the water and wait for like 4 hours, they would turn into actual crystals. Seriously, these are like the slowest things ever. They take so long. It is so infuriating, but as it said in the little message when we looked it up, you can use what are known as crystal growth accelerators to speed up the process. Those are these little guys over here, and they actually work pretty well. So, we're going to try and make 2 of these, and in order to do that, we're going to need a 2 ME glass cable, which requires some either pure fluix crystals or the fluix crystals that we made by dropping the redstone, charged Certus quartz, and nether quartz into the water, along with some quartz fiber, which is why I made the Certus quartz dust and the glass, so we can go ahead and do something like this. Get ourselves some of these guys here, these little quartz fibers, and then if we were to combine those up with these 2, we get 4 ME cable. Nice. So that gets us that. We are going to need a few more of these crystals here to make one of these fluix blocks. So let's go ahead and grab a little bit more of this stuff. Probably going to need some more charged Certus quartz as well now that I look at it. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, like that. That should nicely combine up. There we go. Cool stuff. So we'll go ahead and we'll grab those. And we should actually, we'll throw those back down there. You'll see they're still on 0%. So they do actually take forever. It's kind of crazy how long they take. I kind of think they shouldn't take so long, even without the crystal growth accelerators. But hey, I don't make applied Energistics too, so not really my decision. But we can go ahead and make one of those. And then the final thing we're going to need is 2 quartz glass, which is again why I made a bunch of Certus quartz dust. So if we go ahead and shift left click on that, we get ourselves 4 quartz glass. And again, if we shift left click on that, we should if we had some iron on us, which we do now, get ourselves, boom, a crystal growth accelerator. Nice. And we can go ahead and place this guy down right about there. Actually, let's pick those seeds up for a second and put it back down there and throw those in. But that is not all. Right now, this thing is not doing anything. You can see at the top there, if you look at Whaler, it says device offline just above where it says applied Energistics 2, which means that this thing is not working, and that is because it needs power. Now, unfortunately, being for applied Energistics, this mod cannot accept power from this guy, the furnace generator, which is generating redstone flux, or from this guy over here. I don't think. Let me try this. Last time I tried, this didn't work, but if I was to do something like this, I'm pretty sure this won't work. Yeah, device offline. Let me just real quick see if putting it next to it works like that, or maybe even like that. Yeah, no, device is still offline. That's still not going to work. So instead, what we have to make, for now, once we get a controller, the controller can accept redstone flux, so we can go ahead and use, say, our furnace generator to power the system once we have a controller. But for now, what we're going to need is something known as a vibration chamber, and that is this guy over here. And basically, this is just like, it's kind of like the generator from Industrial Craft. It takes coal, it takes burnable fuel. Actually, it's kind of like the furnace generator we have as well. It takes burnable fuel and turns them into the unit, I think it's AE, is the unit of power that Applied Energistics uses, and it turns it into those, and everything should be good. So to make this, we're going to need some iron, a furnace, an energy acceptor, which is a flux crystal, 4 quartz glass, which we don't quite have, but I think we do have enough to make a little bit more of the stuff if we were to go ahead and grind up one more of these Certus quartz crystals, kind of like this. And we seriously need to work on something better than this. I think the macerator might be able to grind those up, but the macerator is busy going through all of the ores that we got from our miners up on the surface. So let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with some glass in the middle. Gets us another set of quartz glass. And let's have a look. Are we almost there? I think we almost are. We need another. There we go. You can make that. We need a furnace. Let's go ahead and do something like that. And then I think we're good to go. Nice. That gets the vibration chamber, which we can then go ahead and place down there. And if we grab ourselves some coal and fill that guy up like this, it should start to produce some AE. You can see there, AE per tick. It's producing 7, 8. I think it maxes out at 10 AE per tick. And this thing still says device offline, although I was fairly certain. Let me try doing that. Really? You're not going to work? Seriously? I was fairly certain that should work. It could be possible. Oh, nope, device is offline. Could be possible that that's not producing enough AE, although I don't think that is the case. Let me do a quick check on something here. I'm just going to dig myself underground. Let me try doing this, maybe? I don't think it really matters what side it's on. I'm pretty sure this should work no matter where it is. But it is saying device offline, so that is not working right now, which is a bit of a pain. So, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go away. I'm going to try and figure out why this is not working. I thought that would connect, actually, but it's not. It's being a real doodad. Let me try. Oh, that connects. Okay, let's try putting you there. The device is still offline. No! Come on now, work with me here. Okay, last try before I cut away here. Let's put you there, and let's put you there with you there. The device is still offline. Okay, I'm going to go away, guys. I'm going to try and... Oh no, the device is online. Hey, there we go. So that works. So apparently you have to have... I don't know if I just didn't wait long enough previously when having it there, but basically this works. You want the side that doesn't have like these zigzags on about here, and this should be affecting the growth speed of these here. So you can see them on 1% now. If we were to go ahead and throw them in like that and kind of wait a little while whilst we're waiting, let's go ahead and fix up our floor just a little bit so it doesn't look quite as bad as it does right now. It still looks kind of terrible, to be fair, but let's go ahead and just take a quick check. How are they doing now? 3%, so you can see how much faster they're going now that they have this little growth accelerator there. It is pretty nice. Don't worry, they won't despawn. If you see, if we hover over it right now, it says this item won't despawn, so you can leave it in there for as long as you want, and it doesn't obey the normal 5-minute rule for Minecraft items dropped on the floor. It will stay there forever, which is pretty flippin' diamond. Awesome. Now, the next thing we're going to need, or the next couple of things that we are going to need to make ourselves this guy over here, the ME controller, are the engineering process and some skystone blocks. Now, the engineering process require an inscriber, which is a machine that we can get fairly easily. It's actually this guy over here. Pretty simple stuff. Just another fluix crystal, some iron, and some sticky pistons, which are actually really easy to make because we can use rubber from our rubber trees instead of using like slime balls, because I don't think we actually have any slime balls right now. But the hardest part is these two here, the printed engineering circuit and the printed silicon, because these things both require the inscriber silicon press, or in the case of the printed engineering circuit, the inscriber engineering press. And these things cannot be made, they have to be found, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. If you happen to have one already, you can duplicate it using an iron block, but to get one in the first place, you have to, it says here, crafting presses are found in the center of meteorites, which can be found in and around the world. They can be located by using a meteorite compass. So, for those of you who are wondering what that little meteorite was on the minimap, the one that we passed, I think in the first episode actually, that is a meteor from Applied Energistics, which in the middle of, in the center of it I guess, will have a little chest, a little skystone chest, which will contain a couple of things. Hopefully, I'm fingers crossed hoping that it contains at least an engineering press and a silicon press. That would be my ideal situation. Not 100% sure if they'll have more than one inscriber press in it though. That could be a bit of a pain if it doesn't. Also, this whole meteor is made out of skystone, so we are going to go ahead and grab some of that. I'm not going to grab that one because it's fairly hard to break. You do need some form of diamond pickaxe to mine this thing, or a pickaxe with a higher tier than diamond, so like cobalt, iodite, etc., etc. This diamond drill that we have is basically a diamond pickaxe in of itself, so we can go ahead and use this. And once we make it to the middle, we should be good to go. By the way, the way that you get skystone into this block, like skystone block form, is you just smelt skystone. Really easy stuff. We'll go ahead and do that when we get back to the base. Hopefully we don't have to dig too far into this to find the chest. It should be around smack bang in the middle. Here we go, here it is. So we're going to go ahead and break this last piece of skystone, and then we can open the skystone chest, which contains... Oh, look at this. We got ourselves a logic press, an engineering press, and a calculation press. No, we didn't get the silicon press. Oh, we got so much stuff, but not the one that we needed to make all the rest. Oh, that's such a pain. But on the bright side, we got 3 of the 4. I think there's actually only 4 in total. Let's get back to base before the mobs start to spawn, because that would not be a good thing, and they're already spawning. This could be very bad indeed. Unfortunately, this does mean that I'm going to have to go around searching for another meteor in just a second, which is a bit of a pain because they're not all that common. They're not super rare or anything like that, and thankfully they're not too hard to find on the minimap. You can see if you kind of look straight north right now, you can kind of see it's pretty easy to spot. But let's quickly just try and run back to base, and we seriously need to get something that makes us run faster because we run so slowly. Come on, here we go. There we go. Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's the calculation press, the engineering press, the logic press. There is also a name press, which I don't actually think you need for anything. I think it's just like a nice little thing that you can work with cosmetics, although I might be wrong about that. I've never used it. Let's have a look. If I press U, yeah, I don't think it's really useful, to be fair. But then there's also a silicon press, which is the one that we need to make silicon, which is needed for all of the processes. So, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut away here. I'm going to go find another meteor, another skystone chest, and I'll be back in a second. And a little while later, we got ourselves an inscriber silicon press. Nice, as well as another calculation press and some silver nuggets, apparently. I did have to go actually really far out in order to get this one. I'm actually like probably a couple of thousand blocks away from home, and actually the best way, guys, to get to the chest is probably to find the middle at the top and just dig straight down. This one is pretty weird. It's like surrounded by lava. It's pretty odd, but I'm gonna make my way back to base, guys, and I will see you in a second. Okay, so a little while later we can come back, and it looks like all of our crystals in this little puddle are fully made into the pure fluix crystals. I did go ahead and add 2 more before I went looking out for the new meteor, so we should now have 6 in here. There we go, beautiful. And we can now go ahead and make ourselves the inscriber, which is this little guy over here. We didn't need the crystals to make that, but we can go ahead and do it if we were to do something like this. Get ourselves 2 pistons, make them into sticky pistons using the raw rubber from Mine Factory Reloaded. Take those, and then what we're going to need is, we're going to need a pure fluix crystals to make this. However, if we want to be able to make more Fluix crystals, which we're definitely going to need, we have two options. Either we can make more Fluix dust, more sand, and wait like another 5 minutes to 10 minutes even for these things to fully make into pure Fluix crystals, or we can get ourselves some more charged quartz, because as you can see right now, these two Certus quartz, these two stacks, I guess, of Certus quartz crystals are not charged, and therefore cannot be used to make these Fluix crystals, which is a bit of a pain, because it means that right now we can't make any more of them. So, the reason why I went ahead and made 2 more of these is so that we can go ahead and make one of these, a charger. This thing does pretty much exactly what you'd think it does, and it's actually really easy to make. We can go ahead and do that, and I'm going to stick it down right about, I guess, here. And if we were to go ahead and grab a normal Certus quartz crystal and stick it in there for a few seconds, it becomes charged. Look at that. Wait a few seconds again for it to start to charge up. You can see at the top there, it's like 2,000 out of 3,000 RF, and it's done. And you can do it again, and there's that little timer in Whaler that says how much like RF is in the crystal. So it takes 3,000 redstone flux in order to fill this thing up completely, which is a bit of a charge in terms of, oh, did I not get that one? Bit of a charge in terms of power, but come on, work for me again, please. Pretty please. But it's pretty awesome considering we can now make more Fluix crystals without having to do all of the waiting for seeds to grow, which is pretty nice. Not quite sure why that's not working, but we can go ahead and do this, get ourselves a few more nether quartz, which again I think is still over here. Throw you in there as well, and we should be good to go. Nice. There we go. So, now we can go ahead and do something. We can use those 4 Fluix crystals to make the controller, because for most recipes, you can either use my words are just lost. You can either use pure Fluix crystals or just Fluix crystals. However, for the controller, you specifically need Fluix crystals. And actually, speaking of the controller, let's go ahead and start cooking up some of this skystone into the skystone blocks that we're going to need to make it. So, let's go ahead and do something like that. We'll put 4 in for now, because I don't quite think we need any more than that, really. And we can go throw you back in there. Then we can go ahead and make ourselves the inscriber, like that. And this thing also requires some power, so for now, I'm going to go ahead and put it down about there. And basically, this is the interface we get. Now, in order to make there are 3 main processes that we need to make. There is this guy here, the calculation process, the engineering process, and the logic process. All 3 of these are the main 3 processes that we're going to need to make pretty much everything in Applied Energistics. And they're all made in pretty much the same way. If we have a look, they're all made using a printed circuit version of the printed processor with some redstone and some printed silicon. And the way that you make these is using their specific inscriber press and then a different material, in this case Certus quartz crystals, in order to make the calculation one, diamonds for the engineering one, and then gold for the logic one, like that, as you see. Now you'll see all of them require this silicon, and printed silicon is made using an inscriber silicon press and some silicon from Ender.io. Unfortunately, there's no other source of silicon in the game, so we have to use the SagMill from Ender.io, which isn't too big of a deal. The SagMill is pretty awesome on its own, and it would mean that we don't have to use the grindstone ever again, which is kind of awesome. I know I've said that a few times, but this time I actually think I mean it. So if we were to go ahead and do something like this is the recipe for the SagMill, we can go ahead and make some iron bars. And I think we pretty much have everything else we need. We then need to make a basic capacitor, which is just 4 golden nuggets, a copper, and 2 redstone, like so. Combine all of that up into a machine chassis, like that, and then combine it with some flint, some iron, and that last piston, and we get ourselves a SagMill. Nice. Then what we can do is we can go ahead, and for now I'm going to put this, I don't know if this thing transfers power from its sides. I guess we're about to find out. No, it doesn't. I didn't think it does. So we're going to go ahead and move this for now. And stick the SagMill down right about there, which should mean it starts to fill up with the redstone flux. No? That's all. Did it say something? It says configured, which doesn't really mean anything, to be fair. Let me try this. That shouldn't make a difference at all, to be fair. But let's have a look. Is that going to transfer some power? It's not, and I have no idea why. For some reason, it just does this sometimes. It just doesn't want to transfer redstone flux, which is a bit of a pain, because we kind of need it to do that. Let's try this one more time. If I throw you, like, there, and then throw you down, say, there. Okay, so for some reason that's not working. I've gone ahead and made a Sterling generator from Ender.io. Again, this is basically just a generator that turns furnace fuel into power for that particular mod. Again, it's only going to produce RF, so I'm not quite sure why that wasn't working. I think they were a bit buggy sometimes, but if we were to go ahead and, say, throw some wood or some coal or something like that into this guy, we should probably actually use charcoal because we got an absolute butt ton of it, and as soon as we take our stack out of there, it should fill up pretty much instantly. There we go, with another stack, which is actually pretty nice. So we'll throw that in there. That's now generating 20 RF a tick, which should be transferring into there. It is very nice indeed. And now all we need to do is put sand into that, and it should start to make us some silicon. So let's go ahead and throw you in there, and we should get some silicon. It's a 50% chance, so 1 in 2 should get us silicon. We did get lucky there. We got 2 out of 3, which is pretty nice. And now what we can do is we can head on over into here. We can make ourselves some pressed silicon like this using the silicon press, like so. Does take a little bit of time to process. You can see there the percentage calculating up. And once it gets to 100%, it's done. Nice. We can do that. We can do that again. And once that's done, we should be good to go. Oh, almost good to go. We are going to need a little bit more silicon, but that's fine. Thank you. And now the first thing that we're going to make is this guy. Actually, let's make the controller. The controller is one thing that we're definitely going to need, and in order to make this, we need an engineering circuit, which is the engineering press, and a diamond. So let's throw you in there and grab ourselves that diamond. Thank you. And we can go ahead and throw you in like that. That should go ahead again, start working up. Very nice indeed. Now, one little cool trick that we have. Also, we got a bunch of ores, by the way. I processed all of the stuff that we had up on the surface. If you don't have any sand and you want to get some sand real quick, you can actually macerate cobblestone into sand, which is kind of nice. I'm going to take that ejector upgrade off because I do not want it smelting into glass. I just want to get the sand so we can throw it through the sag mill. But, and I will organize this, by the way, guys, this is not the final positioning of any of these machines. It's just kind of where they're going to go for now. That gets us a printed engineering circuit, and if we combine that with some silicon and some redstone, we should get ourselves the engineering processor, which should be the final piece that we need to make ourselves the controller. Nice. Let's go ahead and not drop you on the floor, maybe. There we go. And let's do something like, let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's go grab the skystone blocks. Thank you very much. Like this. Boom. We got ourselves the ME controller. Nice. For now, I'm going to go ahead and place this down right about there. And that should be fine and dandy. We'll take you out. I'm going to keep charging these up every so often because we're going to need a ton of Certus quartz and subsequently these fluix crystals throughout the course of our applied energistics setup. So we're definitely going to need some more of those. Let's take a few more of you and get you going because we know we're going to need some more of those. I actually think in order to make the next thing we're going to make, which is the ME drive, we need 2 more engineering processors, which is another 2 diamonds. This thing is pretty pricey, so do be prepared to spend a couple of diamonds if you're going to try this at home. And let's go throw you in there, along with, again, our engineering process. I don't actually, yeah, okay, there is. I was going to say I don't think there's a way to make this faster. That's a complete lie. You can put speed cards in over here if you get them. They're a bit expensive, I think, for right now, although I might be lying. Let's have a look. Fuzzy card, acceleration card, that's what we need. This thing is just another fluix crystal with an activation card, which does require more diamonds, so it is pretty pricey, and we're not going to make it just now, because we can be patient, really, if we really want to. So we're going to just hold off on that for now, but if you want to speed these up in the future, you can just stick some acceleration cards in over here, and that should work just fine. A little bit more silicon, which is always nice. This thing is done very good. We'll go ahead and make a few more of these. I think one more should be good to make us the ME controller. And then after that, we just need some drives to actually put our stuff in. And we should be pretty much good to go. So we'll throw you again in there with silicon on the bottom. And redstone in the middle. And once that's done, we almost have everything we need to make the drives. Let's have a look. What are we missing? We just need some more of the ME cabling, which is kind of made. I'm looking for the drive. There it is. It is made a little bit like that. We'll take all of you. Let's just throw those torches on the floor for now. We seriously need some more inventory space. We are just filling it up with junk. And then, fingers crossed, this should work. Nice! That gets us this little guy, the ME drive, which is where all of our ME disks are going to go that store all of our stuff. And for now, I'm going to stick it down right there. And now the final piece of the puzzle that we are going to need in order to make all of this work is an ME crafting terminal. The ME crafting terminal is one of these little crafting terminals in NEI over here. Let's have a look. Crafting terminal. It's this guy on the end. And in order to make this, we need a crafting table, an ME terminal, which is made using a illuminated panel, which is made using glowstone, redstone, iron, and quartz glass, as well as 2 of these formation cores and annihilation cores, which are made using some fluidic stuff, some logic processors, some quartz crystals, which are made using the same stuff again, but this time with nether quartz, along with a bunch of other stuff under the logic processor, and the calculation press, which is made using the pure Certus quartz crystal, which I think is made by dropping a Certus quartz seed made from Certus quartz dust and sand into a puddle, which is something like this. Let's grab some sand, and let's grab some Certus quartz. We'll do that. We'll do... Did it say Certus quartz dust? Yes, Certus quartz dust. Okay, so we need a tiny little bit more dust, which we can actually do in the SeNtiMeL now, instead of having to go and doing the grindstone, which is pretty nice. Still not the fastest in the world, but we can make this thing faster with some upgrades. So, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and make... I'm going to wait for these crystals to finish so we can make that calculation processor. But I'm going to go ahead and make pretty much everything we need for this ME crafting terminal, and I'll be back in a second. And far too long later, we have 2 pure Certus quartz crystals, which we can now use in our inscriber to go ahead and make some calculation processes. Now, I did make a bit of a huge derp earlier in the episode when I made the vibration chamber, which is now sitting just down there. You can see it at the top using Whaler, and let's just go ahead and do something like that. But basically, in order to make the vibration chamber, I had to make this guy here, the energy acceptor, and as the name suggests, the energy acceptor is used to, well, accept energy. It transferred energy from other mods into Applied Energistics, so all I had to do was stick a Stirling generator, or probably even the redstone furnace on top of this, and it would have worked just fine. But for now, let's go ahead and take that out, and we should be pretty much good to go. So if we do this with an illuminated panel, one of the annihilation cores, one of the formation cores, and one of these logic processors, we get this guy here, the ME terminal, and then in order to make it into a crafting terminal, all we have to do is combine it up with a crafting table and a calculation process, and we get ourselves an ME crafting terminal. Nice! We can then go ahead and stick this somewhere like that, and then once this thing gets power, what we can do is we can open it up and access all of our stuff that will be stored on the disks in this ME drive. Now, that takes us on to our next point, which is the 1K storage drives. There are actually a couple of storage cells in Applied Energistics. There is the creative storage cell, which you can't get in a single player in survival. There is the 1K, the 4K, the 16K, and the 64K ME storage cell. And the way that these work, if you look underneath the description, it says 0 out of 1,000 or 0 out of 4,000, 16,000, 64,000 bytes used, and 0 out of 63 types. And basically what that means is each disk can hold up to 63 different types of items, but only 4,000 bytes worth. So if you had, say, 64 items in these chests, across all these chests, I had 64 different types of items. So by different, I mean like redstone, diamonds, gold, and all that kind of stuff. Not, say, 2 stacks of lapis. They would still class as one item, but they would take up a lot more bytes than, say, our diamonds. Our diamonds take up still one type, but a lot less bytes. So if you have, say, a lot of different types, but not a lot of bytes, which is kind of what we have, you're better off going with a couple of smaller storage cells, because it means you get a lot more types. But if you've got, say, like 50,000 cobblestone and you want to kind of store all that in your AE system, you'd be better off going for the higher tier 64K ones, because that means you can store a lot of one single item instead of lots of little individual ones. So for now, because we have a lot of types and not a lot of bytes, we're going to go ahead and make a 1K storage cell. This thing is fairly easy to make if you have the quartz glass, which we never do. So let's go ahead and really quickly go ahead and throw 5 more of those, into there, and make ourselves a little bit more glass, and I think then we should be good to go. We pretty much have everything else. We can go ahead and make this 1K ME storage component really easily like that, and then if we were to grab these, we should be good to go. I also set up another growth accelerator because I was fed up of waiting for the first one to do its work. So I stuck a second one down. It did make the thing a lot faster, which is pretty nice. And I will go ahead and organize all this stuff between episodes, guys. Don't worry, it won't look like this. It will be a huge mess next time we come back. But once we've got all of those, we can go ahead and do something like this. And then we can go ahead and make ourselves one of those. Actually, yeah, I think that should work, right? We put that there. We go redstone, redstone. Oh, we need more redstone. Okay. Once we get some more redstone, then we can go ahead and do something like this. That gets us one 1K ME storage cell, which we can then go ahead and put into our ME drive like so. And now, if we were to really quickly do something like this and move our Stirling generator underneath this guy. I was just really touching one side of the controller. As I said before, the ME controller can accept power from any mod. It doesn't need an energy acceptor. You will see that it all glows up with the nice, colorful, flashing lights. And now, if we were to just like cover that up for now and open this up, we will see that we have access to our terminal. And what I can do is I can actually put stuff in here like this. Putting stuff in, and now if I was to check in the drive and hover over it, you'll see 4 types have been used and 41 bytes have been used, which is all of this stuff total. You can see we've used 4 different items, and if you want to just quickly move all of your stuff into your AE system, you can use spacebar and left click to pretty much move everything from your inventory into the AE system. The same works with chests, like this, boom, boom. And we can just do this over and over and over again. And also, make sure you don't click spacebar before you get into the chest. There we go. And boom. And then we're just going to go ahead and move all of our stuff into the AE system. And you'll notice, I think we just filled up on types, right? Yes, we did. Although, I think we might have enough stuff to make some more if we were to take some stuff out. So let's take you out and put some more redstone in. Let's see. All we have to do now, by the way, is we can craft right here. So if we were to go ahead and shift-click for this one, it pulls anything out of the AE system. So you don't have to have it in your inventory. You just have to have it in one of these drives. And if you shift left click it from in this like window here, it will just work, which is pretty freaking awesome. So we'll do this again. We will almost go make another one. We just need a little bit of iron, which we have a ton of in here. Let's go ahead and do something like that. Take you, throw you in there. That gets the second disc, which we can then go ahead and use to throw all of the rest of our stuff in. So let's go ahead and grab you, dump all you in there, and then grab all of you and dump all of you in there, and then finally grab all of you and see if we have... No, we don't. Okay, well, our farming chest, I guess, is safe for now. This one's going to stay, but all the rest of our stuff is now just within here, which is kind of awesome. If we want to search for it, we can just go up here and be like, I want some iron. There it is. Pull it out, use it however I want, which is pretty freaking awesome. What I'll do between episodes is go ahead and make a couple more ME drives so we can throw all of our stuff in. I'll also organize this stuff over here and probably work on getting these pipes here to go to the Stirling generator, so that thing is always filled with charcoal as well. And what we'll do next time is probably start to work on getting some conduits so that we can hook up that one Stirling generator to multiple machines at once, like our SeNtiMeL and stuff like that. And we'll probably get back to some Thaumcraft in a little while before the world downloaded episode 10 as well, because like I said, I really do want to get some of the cool wand and one foci a little bit later on down the Thaumcraft line. But for now, guys, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to like, leave a comment down below if you feel you need to leave a comment, and I will see you next time.